Greetings. It's 10:04 a.m. It's October 3rd, 2017. This is Divvy Community Meeting. We'll start with a check-in. We're changing the agenda a little bit as this meeting evolves. So we'll start with the check-in, and can we start with Michael? Can you introduce yourself? I think is this the first time you're here? Michael, you're on mute. Can you type in the chat, Michael? Okay, and Jeff is here today. What's up, Jeff? Can you give us a
hello, guys.
Check-in?
Hi, Jeff here. It's been a few weeks since I've been. It's good to see you guys.
Hey, Jeff. How's it going?
Pretty good. How are you doing, Kendall?
Are you ice skating up there in Maine yet?
Not quite, but last night it feels like we could be doing that soon.
Yeah. It snowed on and off all day yesterday here.
That's great, actually, right?
Well, yeah. I was a little worried about the overhanging trees because the leaves are still on, so it was this wet, heavy snow, and the branches were all sagging down, and so anyhow, but it's much better now. All right.
Great. Good to see you.
So, what's your the way Griff Green does the check-in is people give their frustrations. What's frustrating you this week, and what's exciting you this week?
Okay, so who's starting?
Jeff.
Jeff. Uh-oh.
Oh, no. That sounds like a tension.
Yeah.
Want to wait? You can wait.
I'm excited. We're getting a server this week. I'm excited about a server. Frustration. Frustration. Trying to get a lot done in a little bit of time.
Yeah.
If anybody can help take notes, that would be greatly appreciated. Let me just put that in the chat.
Well, I guess everybody can kind of put their own in, can't they?
Yeah, I'll try to keep up a little bit too. I'm back now, by the way.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Oh, Michael has his video working. Do you have your sound working now, Michael?
Briefly, but it's pretty vague, and I've got it because
oh,
of
Michael, once again, we got the same old Michael, who's one of the three musketeers, or whatever we are, from Big Life.
Same old. Yeah.
Good.
Hi, Michael. Welcome.
Hi.
Kendall here.
So what's frustrating you, Michael, and what's exciting you this week? Today?
At this stage, it's a little early for me to be excited about anything. I'm just really here to audit, I think. It's 6 o'clock where I am, and I've hardly started my mind yet. But at my age, when you wake up in the morning, that's pretty exciting. Let's leave it at that for the moment.
All right.
Okay. You want go, Bob?
Hold on, I'm still just getting caught up.
Okay, Kendall.
Yeah, well, I guess I mean what happened to me the last week, I ended up putting too much on my plate, and so I kind of got frustrated with not only my own sort of project management situation, but I realized that is a major challenge in this environment, let's say. And I'm somebody, I like to focus on something and get it done. And I realize that is a real challenge, again, in this environment, because it's such a evolutionary environment. But in any case, what I'm working on is to try to be more project focused and meeting goals, milestones, and essentially being able to get something out the door. So I guess that's kind of my focus. And I've also been distracted coming into the winter season here, kind of getting my house ready for that, doing some things, and then getting ready to go away on a trip. So somewhat distracted this week.
All right.
Okay. Didn't I see HJ a few minutes ago?
Say again?
I could have sworn I saw HJ a few minutes ago, and now I don't see HJ, but I see a non-microphoned GSJ.
Gurinder, what's your frustrations and
oh, that's Gurinder.
excitement today? You can check in just a few words.
I'm just logged in, so I'm not. I don't have the context yet of what the conversation is about. So why don't you guys go ahead, and I'll hopefully we'll pick it up along the way.
Okay, this is I'm sort of experimenting with the method that Peter Green used in Give It governance. Well, this isn't a governance meeting. It was a really well-run meeting. Everyone should watch the meeting. It was very productive, and I think we can learn a lot from it.
So, do we have that in?
Oh, everybody checked in, right? Except Bob.
Except Bob, yeah, he's the note taker. Do we have that video? Is that in the chat here, Jim?
I posted in both the Giveth and the Divvy.
Mattermost.
Mattermost. I can put it.
Okay.
I can copy some comments out of that.
Okay, there it is. Here, I'll tell you what. I'll paste it in to
the agenda.
Yeah, into the chat here. So. There it is. Whoops. See if it works.
Okay.
Yay, it works.
I'm going to just post this whole thing into the.
Yeah, once we're done, post it. We'll tack it onto the whole minutes. But by way of check-in, by the way, I too am going to be mostly more listening than anything else. I'm still trying to get a feel for what the larger Divvy community feels is important and current and all that sort of thing. So I can start to figure out where my talents can best be utilized.
Okay.
Now we have to make Jeff say something. He deferred till the end. It's now the end.
It looks like we're not going to get you. Right. We got you, Jeff?
No, yeah, I said something. It was Michael, not Jeff.
Was it Michael that deferred till the end?
Yeah.
Well, he said he was waking up.
Yeah, I think everyone.
Is Michael, are you in Hawaii?
You're on mute, Michael.
Yeah, it's. I'm also working this off my phone rather than my computer. No, I'm in BC, Canada, West Coast.
Oh, okay. Huh. Okay.
Yeah,
So it's
to being such a sort of here and not here, but I'm keen to hear the proceedings of this event, and so I look at me as a sort of a fly on the wall.
I didn't realize BC was a time zone different from the west coast of the U.S.
It is in the same time zone. I'm 7 a.m. at the.
Is it 7 a.m. now or 6?
7.
Okay, so that's the same as the West Coast. All right.
Oh yeah, I am.
okay.
So
Whether I'm the same is another matter.
The way that they run it and give it is that, when they have a round, the person who's speaking, when they're done, they, in essence, pass the baton to someone else until everyone is approached in the round. Is that okay for us to do that? Any objections to that? We'll try it. See how. I don't think we can do it as good as Griff did, but and it may be more formal, but there's a lot of things that were very positive, and we have that as the first agenda item here of the governance model. Oops, and the social leisure rewards is a separate thing. X. So what they did next was they had people propose things to talk about, and they were limited to 3 words. Okay, we're a little more lax than that, but we have Griff's governance model in here so far. We have the social leisure trial reward. We have onboarding and our chain member voting. Do you have anything else, Bob?
Nope.
Pass the baton.
Oh, go ahead. Next.
Name somebody.
Jim, I'm.
Yeah. I'll go. I'll solve your problem, Bob.
Okay. You're going to be my go-to baton recipient then.
So I'm going to say the Divvy DAO. Okay, and now should I expand on that, Jim?
No. Not now.
Not now. Okay.
So name somebody.
Oh, Jeff.
What's that? Sorry.
A three-word agenda item, something to put on the agenda.
I'm not sure. I was coming to follow up with the Uport stuff I started working on.
But I'm not sure up there.
No, Uport's
I mean,
on there.
I figured that was. I think that was.
Okay. And Michael doesn't have anything, right, Michael? Yeah. Michael, are you there?
Yes, Michael has nothing.
Okay.
Gurinder?
Gurinder.
Why are we here? Just trying to understand the mission of Divvy and as well as this call. What is the agenda? So I'm brand new, so if I'm asking some questions which have already been gone through, so apologies for that. But at least for me, if I'm not sure exactly what the context of this call is yet.
Okay, I put that at the beginning, I guess, because it sounds like the first question.
Yeah, I'll actually second that. Understand this call can be my entry too.
Okay, well, we just need to, now
Wait, we need one more. We need yours, Jim.
Oh, I already added them. We have, I guess I'll number them.
Well, you get one right now, right? That was the model you described.
Right.
Yeah, which this could be the purpose of this call, right? To answer what it seems to have morphed into is taking the Giveth governance meeting model for a drive, right? That makes sense, Jim?
Well, yes. And I mean, we're not going to do it right the first time. We haven't.
Sure.
Not everybody saw the video.
Yeah.
I thought I made it clear it was a must-watch, but of course, there's so much information I should not expect.
So, but the point here, Jim, I think, is that everyone, when they come to this meeting, should have at least one 3-word agenda item in mind, right? In other words, there's a little bit of preparation here, but not a lot.
Yeah, well, basically we go through and we flesh out the agenda live, and I put everything under topics.
Yeah.
Whatever people requested, I put in the topics section, and if we want to, we can put somebody's name. We probably should put somebody's next to it, who proposed it.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
Where are you documenting the call? Where are you writing all this stuff, Jim?
I put the link in there. I'll put it in again in case you missed it. Okay, so
in the chat at the bottom.
Right. Okay, but is every participant in the meeting supposed to have an equal shot at the agenda?
Yeah,
or do you get 5 shots because you know what you're doing and we only get 1 each?
No, there's no limit per person, but we should go through each person first.
Okay.
Before we duplicate.
All right. So if we're gonna use this model, what's your 3-word agenda topic for the first round?
Well, it has to be the first one has to be the governance model. I mean, my main purpose is the social ledger rewards for this meeting in terms of actual work.
Okay.
And at this point, the governance of the meeting too, right?
Right. That's the governance model. I have it in there, right? Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to suggest, since that's the first, since that's going to describe how we're going to do this whole thing, why don't we finish going through that? Any more discussion on what exactly that model is, and then we can move on to the other topics. That would be my suggestion for sequence.
Okay.
Since we all didn't see the video.
So, Giveth is following holocratic model, but there's no hierarchy really implied there, in that they give they very specifically give everyone a voice. And I don't know where I was writing, but
oh, you got lots of text already embedded in the topic section. So
yeah, and it consists of rounds. To give everyone the opportunity to respond. Okay, and they do a check-in where a person says what's frustrating them and what they're excited about today. We go around and we solicit from everyone a three-word agenda item, and then anything else. Now, in practice here, we have the agenda item. We have people can come in here and put in things into the agenda before the meeting, which I did, and they should probably put their name on it. And then just the order can be any order. The number doesn't really mean anything except for reference. Because we picked the next person to talk about one of the topics. We start with what the tension is, and the tension is running effective meetings. How to run effective, that meetings can be ineffective, and the proposal is and clarifying questions. We could have a round of questions on that tension. Bob, do you have anything?
on the topic we're doing now, which is how this model works? No.
On the tension of running good meetings, I guess. I don't know if we have to go through that with everyone. Any clarifying questions, anybody?
I think it would be very helpful to have an agenda lined out before the call, so we can make a call if this is a call that I want to attend or not. Right. So I think that would be helpful rather than trying to build the agenda during the call.
Yeah.
Well, that's a whole different model then.
It is. I mean, I guess the challenge, Jim, here is, let's say next meeting there are 3 new people to the meeting. Then this whole thing has to be explained to them again, right?
Well, the outline of the agenda will be there. I mean, what exactly needs to be explained?
Well, I mean the whole process. So what I'm observing, I think, is that Jim, hello.
I can hear you.
Okay, all right. So, I mean, the thing is it's sort of like the people who are familiar with the meeting format should just go ahead and jump into it and let the newcomers observe and learn the process by doing, rather than having to have it explained every meeting. I guess that's my point. So what I'm saying is we ought to just jump into this thing now and yeah, get into the topics.
Okay.
Yeah, and what I mentioned was already.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, but when I saw that it was already on the document, that's one of the reasons why I showed up, and so like it was already there. I think it. That's why I was like, I don't know, because it was already there on the list, pretty much.
What was there, Jeff?
BYOD, BYOID.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Okay, so
right.
so I suppose what we could do is just ask any new agenda items. I mean,
All right. Well, if we're trying to put together a format for this meeting, all right, there's two choices. One is to actually try to put together an agenda in advance so people can know whether they want to attend, or you can use this model, the Giveth model, which basically says you put together the agenda once everybody's here. All right, you can't do both. Well, you can, but you can't. If we're picking a way to run the meeting, let's figure out the way to do this meeting. Now, last week we had a very, very good meeting that basically was there were one or two things that everybody that was there wanted to talk about, and we talked about them. We can do that. I mean, the reality, Jim, as far as like, anybody can put something on the agenda. All right. The only problem with that is when do I check the agenda to decide if I'm going to attend? 10 minutes before the meeting? People need to plan their days. All right. So, if I don't know what's going to be on the agenda until 2 minutes before the meeting, then maybe I'll check and bother, or maybe I won't.
Okay.
And I'm speaking generically, not just necessarily for me personally, but. Okay.
So we'll ask for new items, and they'll always go at the bottom. So that whatever people thought was going to be in the meeting would come first, and any new agenda items would come after.
But then we have so then we are sort of morphing back towards the meeting process we had before, which is that the standing agenda items are maybe end up being more like reports.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it also means that if I want to force the meeting to talk about my topic, all I have to do is go in and put it in the agenda 2 days in advance.
That's right.
Whereas, but Jim, we have a limited amount of time for this meeting. All right, we've already spent a half hour. Now, I realize today the part of the discussion is how to run this meeting, and that's okay. But if this is any indication, all right, if Jeff is coming on here to talk about BYOID, and it doesn't happen to be on the agenda just yet, notice it's down to item 5. We're not going to get to item 5 before noon. All right, I can promise you that we're not going to get there today.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the other thing is that I mean, I feel like this meeting should be about growing the community, and so it should be wide ranging, and it doesn't need to be very structured.
Right, and that's why last week's meeting worked very well, because it wasn't very structured.
Yeah.
We kind of started by saying, okay, who's here? What do we want to talk about?
Right, and let's get to know each other. Let's find out the thoughts that other people bring. I mean, remember diversity of thought, right? That's what we're looking for, and we want to grow the community and create as many stakeholders as possible in the shortest amount of time, I guess.
Well, I'm getting wildly mixed signals here. On the one hand, they're saying we should have a fixed agenda. On the other hand, we're saying that we should that we should talk about what the people want to talk about.
Yeah.
Okay. I trying to come up with a happy medium here that does both. Okay.
Well, we can kind of do both, but what we can't do is say, well, I put the thing in the agenda 3 days ago, so that gets to go first. All right, because if I'm the only one who wants to talk about my topic, then I'm wasting 5 other people's time.
You know, we don't have to have a lot of rules. Okay. You know, if somebody, you know, makes the effort to organize a meeting, we just, you know, have to start with that. It doesn't mean we have to follow it. We can be flexible, you know, in how we address the agenda items. But we have a list of the things that were planned and that people want to talk about, and we can talk about them in a fairly.
But Jim, I thought that I mean, based on the Giveth model, you're saying that it was spontaneous, the things that people wanted to talk about, right? So it would seem that the most basic instruction in attending this community meeting is be sure, you know, make sure you have something you want to talk about. It's okay to sit back and be an observer and absorb, but you may be asked to share something you want to talk about. So be ready to do that. And then that just you know, then we have these spontaneous agenda items, and we go off in whatever direction we go off in.
All right, guys, hold on one second. But, you know, could we not come up with a hybrid model where we have, you know, first half hour, which is basically fixed agenda, and the latter half hour is on the whoever is there and decides to add additional things during the meeting. And, you know, one of the things is we should limit the topic of agenda or any other item to 5 minutes or 10 minutes, whatever you guys want to agree upon. And that's it, you know, and move on to the next one. But otherwise, because we hash the entire topic right now for 45 minutes, and we'll never get to the rest of the agenda items.
Yeah, I agree with that. We can move on to the next agenda item, why don't you, Bob, choose the order that they go in?
Because I'm more interested in hearing what everybody else would like to do. So if anybody out there has a particular idea for what we should do next, that's what I want.
I just want to, you know, we had a conversation for a long time. Could we not come up with some sort of conclusion or decision so we don't have this discussion again?
I mean, I'm just going to observe that. I mean, I've been in these meetings now for almost a year, and this meeting is starting to sound like the old meetings, and I'm looking for something that is really free form and synergistic. That's what I'm looking for. I want to grow the community. I want to make this into a forum where new people can come in and discuss their ideas, get other people excited, and so forth. All right. I think that the specific ongoing topics need to be in a separate space. People can bring it up, they can talk about it, but it ought to be spontaneous. That's my feeling. And the more we can do to be spontaneous, and you know, to address Jeff and maybe Gurinder, your thoughts of, well, you know, why am I coming to this meeting? Well, maybe the way to deal with that is to come to the meeting, and after the first 10 or 15 minutes, you know whether you want to stay or not, right? And that would solve the whole issue of, well, I don't know what the meeting is going to be about, so I don't know whether I want to come or not.
Yeah, let's move on. And I think, you know, that
I think we have moved on. Item 2 is why are we here, and that's exactly what Ken just answered with his opinion. So
okay, anything else on why we are here? I think that Gurinder can, if we have an open format and Gurinder can raise any topic he wants at any time, that he can make the meeting worthwhile for himself.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's, what do you think, Gurinder?
I'm sorry, I missed the last part. What did you say, Jim? That if I wanted to have a meeting or a specific topic, I can call the meeting myself? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying that the meeting is spontaneous, so you can raise the issues that are of interest to you at any point, like right now, next, or whatever. And since you can raise, we're letting people raise the issue that they want to talk about. Their issue will be covered.
All right. So do we have a mission for this group? Why are we getting together, and what's the purpose? Is there somewhere written out that I could read and catch up on?
Okay. Yes, we actually, much of that is embodied in the operating agreement for Divvy DAO Ltd, which is the legal entity that underpins Divvy. And there's a whole section there with regard to the developing the DAO entity, which would not be under the control of the legal entity. In other words, would be the stakeholder entity. Okay, and that's sort of why I put up the topic of the Divvy DAO, because what we're really let's say struggling with in these distributed organizations is how they grow, how they support each other. In other words, how do we build this really this network that just has a its own momentum and so forth, and that's again what I see the purpose of this meeting, and it's consistent with some of our earlier thinking about how do you jumpstart a DAO. So does that give a little more background? I mean, I can we probably ought to share some of that. I don't know what I'd look for some input on this, but we do have a structure that has been memorialized in a document, in a foundation document for Divvy. Okay, and it relates to the Divvy community, and eventually, I mean, what we're trying to do is to get the larger community to be stakeholders who actually have a voice in building the Divvy platform of tools, which we're actually doing. I mean, like Mattermost and various other initiatives and so forth are working in that direction. But maybe this meeting is where we get a little more focused on how we do that. I don't know. I definitely look for other ideas out there to latch onto. But
yeah, and we have ongoing projects that the community is involved in, and the people at the meeting here being involved in those different activities can talk about what they need and what they're planning to do, and we can coordinate our activities as a whole organization through these meetings, as opposed to all working independently.
May I pipe in a second?
Sure.
Also, like the divvydao.org website is a great place to catch up on most of the materials. And, if there's further questions, getting involved with getting those materials up to date is definitely a good place to start.
And in the website, Jeff, you're talking about?
Yeah, a lot of the details, the basic questions are answered through links directly coming from that website.
Yes, exactly. It's a navigation website.
Yeah, you mentioned before, and that's how I like to do it too. I open up that website and I can find all the documents straight from there.
Yeah, exactly. And you can get to this meeting from there. You can sign up for the tasking and talent pool. You can join Mattermost, and yeah, I mean that's like that's a lot of the purpose of it now. Yeah, great, Jeff. I mean, I'm glad to hear that. And we can really expand the website. I mean, the whole, if you click on the forum button, and does everyone know, just go to divvydow.org. That's the website. Is everyone aware of that? Michael, are you? Click your and Gurinder, have you ever gone to the divvydow.org website?
I have looked at it, and I'm actually going through some of the stuff right now, as well as some old meetings.
Well, you know, we have there. This website is, you know, as it says on the bottom of the welcome, or partway down the welcome page, that you know, this is where is it? Yeah, this site is in transition. Stay tuned for updates. I mean, again, this is a place where the community really can participate, and there's nobody here who claims to be the be all and the end all as far as, you know, creating a website and so on, and we just would love to have people, real professionals, come in and participate in the website. Yeah, so I'm glad to hear that, Jeff. I really am glad to hear that. I appreciate that. We do, if you notice, we have, there's a button there that says forum coming soon. Well, now this is, I think that the community meeting and forum they're part of the same thing. So maybe, I don't know. I mean, maybe forum becomes,
in my view, forum.
Isn't Mattermost our forum?
It's part of it.
Yes.
Mattermost is part of forum.
And I think when Kendall talks about forum, it's the same thing as what I'm talking about, social ledger.
That's true. Actually, you're right, Jim. Absolutely. Yeah, the bubble diagram is what I've always sort of seen forum to be. This sort of dimensionless environment where the forum essentially grows organically, right? And that's what the social ledger is about.
Is there any other concerns or comments on why we are here?
Yeah. Well,
I guess, I mean, I just as a outsider coming in, you know, parachuting in. So maybe, as I said, I don't have the entire picture just yet.
Sure.
But I am trying to understand the for example, under that Divvy Dow, what exactly is the team here is agreeing upon as to which projects to go? Is BYOID, is that the focus, or are there like community token exchange and Divvy marketplace? All of these things are being focused on at the same time. I'm just trying to get some idea as to where is the team agreeing to move in what direction, because I think what I'm concerned about, I mean, I'm okay what you said, Kendall, that you know, this should be a open session and everybody should talk about and growing the community. But I'm also a little bit concerned that there doesn't seem to be a focus on certain direction. And if there is no focus, we're just going to be talking and not basically getting anything done. So if there is an agreement already, I would love to hear that. Because I think my goal was, I mean, when I came here, I thought the discussion was going to be on BYOID as well. So
Okay.
it's one of the things on the plate. Great. I would love to talk more about that.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I think most of us here have a focus on BYOID because, or many of us here have a primary focus there because identity is a prerequisite to every other application. Okay, but we have immediate needs for member management. We have immediate needs for doing rewards. And some of us, we don't all have to focus entirely on BYOID. Some of us can contribute in the other areas that we need right now for the community, one of which is BYOID. So we can say there's a major focus on BYOID, and and we're engaging people in trying to find people to engage in all the activities that we need done currently.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a whole Mattermost team in Mattermost. Have you been invited to that, Gurinder? Let me see.
Yeah, I mean, I've been, again, just from very high level, been following some of the discussions in the Mattermost. Not really jumped in. I think largely Jim and I have been just basically talking more about BYOID than anything else, and trying to get those parts moving.
Yeah.
But not like, I'm not really, I've not had a chance to just spend a few hours just reading through some of the conversations which are already have taken place.
Well, what we're trying to do, I believe, is with Mattermost is to be able to have an environment where people can be in contact on a minute-by-minute basis. I mean, live chat, but create any channel that you want. Let whatever the top or the really the theme of the team is, to be able to morph in whatever direction it wants to go in on Mattermost. And that can be highly structured, or it can be very, very open form, depending on what the people want to do. So my point is that the BYOID, while hey, it's a big subject, okay, and you can talk, you can be very, very general and synergistic and with ideas and so forth. And on the other hand, you can be extremely focused if you have a project plan in place to focus on tasks, milestones, goals, etc. Okay, so I don't know exactly how we would be dealing with BYOID here in this community meeting, but my sense is that it would be much more general and sort of far-ranging, and then allow those who are really, really committed, or if a group emerges out of discussion here, they take it to their own workspace, basically, which we're saying Mattermost is kind of the sort of the next level of a public space for doing that, right? So does that make any sense to you, Gurinder?
Yep. I mean, I'm got it. So I think understood somewhat. So let's see if we can move on to the next topics on the agenda. I think one that Jim was trying to find out.
Mm-hmm.
What was it, Jim? Something about allocating certain roles. I mean, certain. I forget. I have to go take.
Since you raised BYOID, I think we should complete that item. And this was from the managers meeting yesterday. Gurinder is taking an active role. Not sure if he's team leader or point of contact, though. Okay, we updated the calendar. Work on membership. Social ledger setup was initiated for the team, and discussion of the /ID command. We're hoping to clarify the leadership and organization of BYOID. Technology direction for the member vote, which apparently we're going to do tomorrow in the ArtChain members. Work will continue on the ArtChain vote, and I don't know why it's not in here, but it should have in here the OAuth 2. I know it was in here somewhere, but I'll put it in again. CAN board to Mattermost. Single sign-on.
Jim, we did not talk about any of those things in the managers meeting. Please don't put them in the managers meeting minutes. They didn't get discussed.
I could have sworn we discussed it.
Nope. Nope. We were keeping the managers meeting very brief and to the point. You mentioned that you're going to be talking about direct technology directions, and that was as far as it got. We did not go into any details about any potential technologies.
Where is it? I don't know what happened to my meeting. Yes, here it is.
All right, well, let's address the first question. All right, as far as clarifying leadership, since Gurinder is here. Gurinder, are you the, I don't know, what are you calling it? Jim, what's the right term for
the guide?
So I would love to give positive. Jim, we've only known each other for how many years? 30 years. Get my name right. Okay.
He misspells everything. Don't worry about that.
I've known him for 50 years, Gurinder, and he still can't spell my name right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still getting a entire picture of what needs to be done on the BYOID. So I'm somewhat reluctant to say yes to the role, but certainly I can give you the answer perhaps in a week.
Well, can I ask, Gurinder, could I jump in and ask you what would be keeping you back from making that kind of commitment?
Well, I think the two things. One, obviously, the scope, and second is the resources. Right? There's always a standard issues with any project. So I just want to understand what are we building and what kind of resources we have to build those.
Well, and then resources, I mean, both development, programming resources, as well as financial resources.
I think at least human capital right now.
Say
I'm not
again,
sure.
human capital. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that there's a lot out there, but it has to be brought together in a way where, you know, according to some sort of framework, I guess. And have you looked at all the BYOID documents?
Unfortunately, not yet. It's on my to-do list.
Okay.
Too many other things on the plate right now.
Yeah. All right. So, I mean, I think you need. I think what you're saying, it kind of sort of goes back to what you were saying just a minute ago, which is, well, you know, give me a week, and then I'll be able to tell you what my commitment would be. I mean, does that make sense? Is that really what you're saying?
Again, as I said, I'm trying to get my head around.
Get,
Yeah, I guess you guys have been doing this for a while. I'm just jumping in it right now.
Absolutely. So, hey, Bob.
Yeah, you can hear my typing because I forgot to mute myself.
Sure. But do you want to do you want to take a look at BYO, all things BYOID, and see if we can't put them all in one place? So
once I get the time to do that, right? That's been number 3 on my to-do list for about 3 weeks now.
Well, yeah, okay. All I'm saying is, yeah, I mean, I could do a session with Gurinder, or Jim could do a session with Gurinder. I mean, we've got BYOID stuff in half a dozen different places.
Right. So if you guys can just send it to me, I'll more than happy to review and put it together in some structured manner or website.
Okay. That sounds like a good way of doing it. Let's see. Do we have your email address? Do you want to paste it in the chat?
Sure, absolutely.
And you're in Mattermost, right? I mean, you're in the BYOID Mattermost. Yes. Let me see. Let me check here. So, you members. No, I don't think you're in here. Oh, yes, you are. Yeah, you are.
You should look for GSJ.
Yeah, you're in there. Okay.
Yeah. I think Jim has added me in most of this stuff.
Yeah. You know, and great. You know, and the thing about Mattermost is I think people, when we're off in these, you know, kind of in these side channels, or or side teams, whatever, people should be very free about creating new channels and so on and so forth. I really think that that's an important thing. It's about everyone. It's not like this is the Divvy DAO Mattermost, and oh well, I better, you know, I don't want to, you know, step on anybody's toes or anything like that. This is part of the forum tools where the community gets to express itself. And hey, you know what? I mean, my experience with Mattermost is that you name a channel, and now I've seen on half a dozen different occasions where we've gone back and we've renamed a channel. So you know, these channels are not cast in stone, and so I would just invite you, Gurinder, to, I mean, take a look at it, and if you see channels that need to be created, create them. Invite people, all of that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's fine.
Very good. All right. And we can also put stuff, yeah, I mean, the links, all the links can be there. So, I mean, that's probably where we need to have all of the Mattermost links, right, Jim?
All right, you're in mute, Jim.
I'm sorry, where should we have them?
In Mattermost.
Yeah. Okay, if we go to the BYOID channel,
Mm-hmm.
and we type slash dig A or activities, you get all the activities. We have some actions, we have some documents, we have some norms, and you can see here the BYOID project doc. Okay, and we can go there. We have the
where are all of these things and their functionality or their purpose defined? What's a norm?
if you do slash dig all by itself, you get all the links about the social ledger trial, and you know, things like the Divvy calendar.
So what's a norm?
And if you just type slash dig help, you get a summary of all the commands.
So can I suggest you add that to the channel description up above?
So what's a norm?
A norm is something that is a practice that we follow that helps us coordinate with each other and work together.
Okay, and who gets to decide what the norms are?
Well, anybody gets to decide, but if we look at the slash dig norms, okay, we can see that I haven't checked off any of these. Meeting notes will be logged in this channel. I'll check, and I can see that I've checked that, and so has Gary. So 2 people support that norm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if I check working out loud as a principal, I'll see that.
Okay, so when does it stop being a proposal and start being a norm?
The people who follow it, follow it. The people who don't. There are no rules.
Well, then it's not a norm.
Well, I think
the norm, nobody can tell anyone what to do. If you don't subscribe to a contract, if you don't agree to it, it's governance by consent. You do what you do. And if you get kicked out of the group because of it, that's another thing.
I think that a norm is a set of accepted principles and procedures that have evolved within a group ecosystem, and that can be anything from a few people to an entire nation, over time to have been accepted, widely accepted by an overwhelming majority of the people. Okay, that's what I think a norm is. And Jeff, help me out here. But remember in the beginning when we were writing, we were working on the various documents. We discussed norms in there. I mean, the idea of doing things according to norms has been around for quite a bit in our thinking.
Yeah, I think, I can, there's been a lot of writing about norms in the Digital Life Collective, and some of it is very good. I think next week or whenever, I'll be prepared to address better the what has come out of the Digital Life Collective in terms of norms being, well, actually, I can find that pretty easily. In the principles.
I mean, there are all kinds of norms, and if you're talking about a narrowly focused subject or project or something, there are norms, and you could go out into do word searches and so forth for certain things and come up with norms for them. Jeff, why don't you jump in?
Yeah, I think in the cryptosphere, the consensus issue could just pretty much cover most of that. I mean, with a separation of DAOs, everyone can have their own utopia, as I keep saying. Yeah.
Their own which?
Utopia. Everyone can follow their own rules if they don't like the rules of another. It's DAO world now.
Oh yeah,
but true. But if you're joining a community and if you're recruiting for a community,
well,
isn't
that's the beginning. It started with it. It comes to consensus. It comes down to consensus. And,
right, and for the original group, that's fine. But again, if you're trying to recruit after the fact, then you kind of want the people you're recruiting to understand what it is they're getting into. So I can see the use for norms. All right, but there needs to be some way of deciding what actually is a norm and what's just a, hey, I think in order to be allowed to speak at this meeting, everybody needs to be wearing a red shirt. I mean, that's my idea.
Absolutely.
So I can post that in this system today. That doesn't mean everybody's going to follow it. But there's no way to tell for sure that.
Well, there are documents that kind of define how the governance hopefully is going, linked on that website. So a lot of this, I mean, adding the holocratic Griff Green method here, might need to be added to that document if it's so determined today that this is a good method, right? So, I mean, those documents are evolving. The community helps evolve those documents. They update those by consensus.
Okay, but now using the tools in here in the /dig tools, for example. Jim, is there a way to get rid of a norm that's posted once is there a delete on those things? Okay.
Yeah, the whole system is very permissive. Any individual can do anything. It's only norms that determine what people should do or shouldn't do.
But again, like I said, I can go in there right now and post a requirement that nobody can talk at a meeting unless they're wearing a red shirt. All right, and does that make it a norm? I mean,
you could be the only one that supports it. That's fine. It's going to be a very small circle. Okay, the more people that support it, the bigger the circle is.
But what's the purpose of it then, though? If I mean, you're not establishing a norm for the sake of a norm. You're establishing a norm for in order to ensure harmony in a community. All right. I mean that's what this is for.
Well, any circle, any channel can set up any norms they want. Okay, and it's by consensus. If you're in a channel and you don't want it there, just delete it.
But
everybody is king in this. Everybody is king. It's the action of individuals from which group behavior emerges. It's not the group imposing on the individual.
That's holographic.
When a group gets together and decides to form, I'm in full agreement to that. All right. If 4 of us get together and say, "Hey, let's do X," and let's all agree to do X in this way, that's great. All right. But as soon as we decide we need to get a 5th person, all right, we have 2 choices. We can either say to that 5th person, "Hey, we'd like you to join us, and here's how we do things," or
You can do
"Hey,
that.
we'd like you to join us, and the first thing we're going to do is throw out all our rules and decide for, again, now that there's 5 of us, how to do things." You get to pick one.
Sure, you get to you have the freedom to do that, and what's in the social ledger doesn't have to be what's in a consensual document.
If the choice is the 4 of us have agreed to do things this way, we'd like you to join us, and we don't care if you flaunt all of our rules, then that's okay too, but then there's no point in having the rules.
Okay, so
All right.
you don't have to use the norm feature. You don't have to use it. Okay, you can do it a different way. The things that are available in the social ledger are there if you want to use them. Okay, that you don't have to attach any importance to them if you if you don't think they're valuable. Okay, we have in here dig team. Okay, we have I'm not sure why Kid is a guide. He sort of was temporarily leading this, but he hasn't had time for it. He's been involved with the membership. So anybody can come in here and change the role of anybody, but it's the norms of the group that determine who to do it, who does. And, this is the group of people. And you're not in here yet, Bob.
Right. Did you say anybody can change the roles for anybody?
And yeah, this is
so you can go in and unguide Kit right now.
Absolutely, but if I piss you off once, you're going to kick me out of here, right? What's your?
I guess my concern here, maybe I'm just a little too cynical or something, but I mean, all of these kind of things work beautifully as long as everybody agrees to play nice, and as long as everybody is of like mind in the first place.
All right, we're building trust communities here. We're not going to, if you're disruptive, you're out of here.
but that's but you need
okay.
If you don't at least acknowledge that there's going to be potentials for conflict, and therefore there need to be at least some sort of ground rules, then I personally just think you're being naive. That's like I said, maybe I'm a little too cynical. But
we're empowering individuals here. We don't want to have a meeting to decide every little thing. We want people to be able to take action unilaterally and let other people object. If anybody has an objection, you don't have consent in the circle, and so therefore it gets undone. But we don't inhibit people from acting and making an action and making a choice. Okay, and if they misbehave, we confront them.
This is organic reputation building, right?
Right.
I mean, organic webs of trust, which is what free trust is all about. Yes.
Yeah, and it's only a first step too. I mean, obviously we want to build permissions and things into this and allow teams to set rules that everybody has to follow, but we're not there yet.
Yeah.
So this is where we are today.
Okay, so I just want to let everyone know that I added the community manual to the top of the meeting. This meeting document, it should be a permanent part of this. And Gurinder, take a look at that, because that'll give you even more background. Okay, you can navigate to other of the foundation documents for Divvy, which date back, some of which date back almost a year, but it really gives some background on a lot of the things that we've actually been talking about here. And I think I'm just going to, take a minor victory lap here, but and Jeff was a big part of this. Just getting those documents out has set us in a direction which I think we're actually demonstrating that we're following through on the things that we set out to do almost a year ago. So yeah, and yeah. So community manual, it is a living document. Anyone clicking on that can make comments, can make suggestions, and so forth. So I think what I'm doing here is I'm really opening that community manual up to the community as part of the repurposing of this community meeting. So everyone take a look at it if you haven't before.
Yeah. As we're coming up to the hour, it is important that I get some feedback on the social ledger rewards for September. Is that if we handle that next?
Okay, I'm going to ask somebody else to take notes. I'll be back in a few minutes.
Okay. I guess he's going to miss this. For the social ledger trial, we promised rewards to participants. And basically, using some concepts which I introduced briefly in the tokens channel of the Divvy DAO chat, I set up a rewards based on quanta of participation. And for this activity, I take any action or participation as a quanta unit, and we total them up. And the first thing will be the posts in Mattermost, which I did yet. The next is the mentions in the social ledger lab, a social ledger log. This is how many times they were involved in a social ledger action. Then we have a level, which for the purposes of this, I have level 1 is a participant or regular, level 2 is a facilitator or expert, and number 3 is a leader or advisor. And if we look at the people here, we can see the levels: regular, expert, and advisor, which should be set to correspond to what we have here in the social ledger lab channel. But this is external to that. And then we multiply the base level, we give a base of 10 tokens just for being a participant. And then we give tokens based on the level times the quanta of participation. And then we get the total award per person here. And then we also can have reward based on commitment, which I haven't added yet. So that when someone commits to an activity,
So I mean, what you're starting out here, rewarding people for attention, correct?
Actually, you know, if they don't participate, if they just read, we're not really participating. I mean, you know, I mean, we're giving them 10 tokens for participating at all, basically. If they participate once.
Yeah, clicking on the whatever the activity is and making the commitment.
Okay, so, you know, if I make a commitment to an activity in the circle, these commitments will be accumulated on the sheet somewhere, and by some formula will consent to how much reward is going to be given for that.
Well, okay, so what you're saying is that initially there's an assumption that by clicking and starting to participate, you're going to get some minimum amount of tokens, right?
Yeah.
And so if you know, in the future you don't really participate, do those I mean, you've got your minimum amount of tokens, but that's all you're going to get, right?
Yeah, well, it assumes you get at least one other token. Okay, you have to, you know, it's more than just being in the channel. You have to take some action in the social ledger to be a participant in the social ledger, or at least be mentioned in the social ledger.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay, so this is like a reputation tool. I mean, this
is just for September rewards.
Yeah, no, I understand. I'm just trying to take it a little bit further in my thinking, that's all. You know, yeah. I mean,
So basically,
is there a dedicated space to social ledger in Mattermost?
well, yeah. There's I mean, you know, there's teams in the R-Chain co-op, the DexStack co-op, the digital and the Divvy DAO that are part of the trial. Okay, and the dedicated channel is the Lab Dig Life, which is the home base for the the trial,
so I mean, it's kind of spread out in various places. Jeff, were you trying to get at the idea of creating its own space in Mattermost? I mean, having its own channel.
yeah. Most of the teams, like Bring Your Own ID, have a social ledger trial for discussion by that team.
Right.
You know,
So that dig command is pretty much your primary interface, or the primary interface.
Yeah.
dig command. Okay, you can browse with the holonic diagram. It'll take you to back to channels and the dashboard. Okay, the social ledger trial doc is the main document about the trial. And in any of the teams, when you type /dig, you get this e-links and tools on the social ledger. Okay.
So this is essentially like the table of contents.
Well, not exactly. I mean, if you go to the social ledger trial doc, okay, what you get is you get the current participants, which is the table of contents, so to speak, with the lab team being the main place to talk about the social ledger. But Divvy DAO, RChain, DexStack, Internet of People, Open App Ecosystem, BYOID, Proven Secure Solutions, Givey.io, these are all teams that are participating in the channel, and there's a link to information about them and into their Mattermost main channel. Invite link.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that Jeff maybe was referring to, yeah, okay, well, all right. So the /dig command, that's your primary command, that's your primary entry point. That's the portal basically to all things social ledger. Yes?
Right.
Okay, so that
Sounds good.
that entry point we could think about developing that more, right? And so that people understand more what it's about. I don't know. Let me go back and type the command again. And
Well, I wonder if that could be a tab in the website, that entire not, but instead of spit out and some buttons and then
put it in forum. We ought to put it on the website and put it in forum. So people click on forum and boom, they can go to social ledger. We make it very clear that this is a pilot. Yes?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So how do we so they have to join Mattermost in order to do that, right?
Well, I mean, Mattermost, you guys are probably hosting your own Mattermost, right? Yeah. And so you can add, extensions. You can even put extensions in there that are yours, possibly. And that might hook to that application. I mean, that application is probably open source in a way, depending on, its licensing.
Okay, so we could do a forum Mattermost. Mattermost forum or forum Mattermost, yes?
Yeah, the Mattermost would still be where people could communicate. I mean, that would be probably, one of the primary, standard ways for people to communicate, obviously.
Yes.
That'd be where they're guided to anyway, if they want to veer off somewhere else, so be it. But hopefully with a network effect, you get enough people getting into your Mattermost, nobody's going to want to veer off, because why would you want to do that? You can't interoperate effectively that way. So, I mean, sorry, I'm going off, but I think that putting the buttons and when you type in dig help, you get your list, you get your table of the things you can do now. Putting that table into a page on the website would then allow you to interact with people in Mattermost, even though you didn't actually go over there. You just a tab in a website.
Well, yeah,
wow.
I mean, so you're saying that we should set it up so that you can use the dig command /dig command from the website.
Well, more technically, somebody says, I want this web page that has my /social ledger, Divvy DAO /social ledger, right? And so what comes as your response is already the dig command happens, and it spits back that response. So you just get your table back in a little web page. Don't even have to type dig command. It just happens because you requested that page.
Let me show you the dashboard. If you type on the palette over here, it takes you in context into the Dig Life dashboard, which shows you all the tiles associated with, in this case, the Bring Your Own ID project. And you can navigate here, and you can control these here. You can set your level. You can archive it. You can click on the link and go right in there to whatever it points to. Like if you want to go to the project log, you click on here and you get into the project log. So the dashboard is sort of like this web page that you're looking for here. And we can look at all.
Yes.
We can see everything happening in the collective. And if we wanted to go into the video,
I think this tool deserves its own tab on the website. I guess it was my final.
Yeah, I agree with that.
One problem with that is, this has to be, we have to do the authentication on this page. Right now, it's authenticated because you invoke it from Mattermost, and it's loose authentication. My user ID is in the link. It's not enforced yet. Like you said, this is very flexible. But you can add activities here. Oh, coming soon. Doesn't work. So you can zoom in and out of activities here. If we go back to all channels here, and we want to look at just the actions. Whoops.
So the way to add to these is through Mattermost already.
Yeah, okay. So Jeff, I think it's like what we're saying here is that it's not a one-click solution off the website. You have to join Mattermost, and then you get the tutorial, and then you're set free in Social Ledger. The Social Ledger pilot project, essentially. Yes?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That's great.
Okay. All right. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to, I don't know whether I can do it today. I've got some other things on my plate, but over the next, between now and the next meeting, hopefully I will I'll go into forum. I'm just going to put something in there, and we'll, yeah. So we got something to discuss, and you guys can just rip it apart next week. Okay, it'll be real simple. Just directing to Mattermost, and I don't know. Maybe I'll create a in the Divvy DAO a link or a channel rather for the social ledger, so that it's it exists as its own entity, sort of floating out there in the forum. Does that work? Is that all right, Jim?
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure, but I'm sure it's okay.
It can't hurt.
Yeah. Yeah, and we can curate the links and tools that come up when you type /dig all by itself, and get people to type that. Before anybody leaves, I did want to get feedback on the reward system that I'm proposing for September, and any changes or considerations that we should take on in continuing with that. I assume that the people participating in the lab channel will be the people that ultimately decide the rewards, but currently in the compensation activity, I'm the only member. Nobody else has committed effort to the compensation activity in that channel. Comments on the method of using quantums of participation as a basis for doing rewards in the social ledger trial.
Yeah,
I have one comment. At the bottom of the minutes, I think it's part of the template for your minutes. There's below this line is for reference purposes only. I think since the social ledger is one of the pushes, the focus right now, testing grounds pretty much, it deserves its own bullet.
where would that go, Jeff?
Your the minutes template. Anyway, right now it's at the bottom of your minutes. I assume it's a part of the template.
Yeah, actually, yeah. What that actually is it's all the remnants from when this meeting was a hybrid status and whatever it is now meeting. And we didn't want to just throw all of that crap away. It really does need to be reorganized. We just nobody's had the time to do that yet.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, a reference section at the bottom of the document is still, I think, something we want to keep. It just doesn't want to look like a status report thing anymore.
Gotcha. Like a collect all. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Like I said, now all we did literally was took the last meeting minutes from before we adjusted the format of this meeting and said, instead of wiping it all out, let's leave it there in case we need to grab the links or something.
Here, I'll tell you what.
I labeled it legacy info. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm going to use my standard method of making things really separate from the stuff above.
Yeah, well, no, it's not just that. I mean, we need to.
The first two bullets are really good. They're chock full of information that are necessary.
Right, exactly.
So
Yeah, what I'm going to do is get rid of the thing that says status reports and just leave it like this. That now it looks a little less imposing.
Yeah, and Gurinder, this actually is a good, like if you go into BYOID right here, in below the X's, the line of X's, that you'll get, I think, pretty much everything you need. Didn't you say, Jim?
Yeah, this covers all the major activities that are associated with BYOID. It doesn't prioritize them or anything, but
right.
Sort of our priority has become what our communities need today.
Yeah. So I mean, you can always navigate to this meeting and go there, Gurinder. Does that work for you?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so can we say that that we have fulfilled the action item of getting you the information you need?
I think once I read them, I will let you know if gives me all the information I need. But yeah, I mean, I think this it looks like a good start. I think what Jim was probably trying to say, I think in the dig activity, probably these documents are already listed.
Yeah.
We probably will add them.
Well,
there.
some of them are. I'm not sure all of them are, but
yeah, the social ledger depends on everyone participating and adding stuff so that it's complete, and that's a habit that we need to sort of develop in the community of people adding stuff to the social ledger as it becomes relevant to a channel.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay. Well,
You know, as you can see from the stats, the participation in September was pretty lame.
well, yeah, you know, I mean, we got to get people bought into this thing, and that's really what I mean, look, you know, from my being participating in all of these things for several years now, you can say something and I don't get it. Okay? Somebody else can say something and I don't get it. And until I actually sort of grab a hold of the wheel and start driving, that's when I start to get it. But I don't do it right away. And that's not to mean that you know, I just ignore things. It's just that's my method of uptake. I start slow and I finish strong. That's my pattern.
Yeah, and you know, that's sort of what Gurinder's going through now in terms of getting onboarded into the BYOID.
Right.
I mean, his background and experience brings so much to the table.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable, and we really need him to be, you know, want it, you know, to make it what he wants it to be.
I absolutely agree. And Gurinder, you know, make me your right hand man, okay, or your left hand man, whatever. But and on all things Divvy, if you need someone, you know, a go-to person, you know, reach out to me and I'll either, you know, be able to answer any of your questions with regard to Divvy, or point you in the right direction. Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, Jim, don't oversell.
He's been, okay. If you can you just express what your experience has been in the area, so that nobody gets a wrong idea about your experience.
In what space? I'm sorry.
Single, you know, identity, single sign-on, and such.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I'm just catching up on distributed identity, but in the past I've built number of single sign-on solutions for large enterprises. So I'm just basically trying to see how to basically use the distributed manner to you know, solve some of the same problems that we've done in the past. So, and I know Jim's been talking about it for some time.
Yeah.
And talking to me about it for some time, and I have not really jumped into it. But I have some cycles. I should just take a look at it and see if we can implement something to get the ball rolling. And I one of the first use case that Jim and I discussed about a week or so ago was the KYC, specifically for the Archain folks. So I think that may be something. If that's still relevant, Jim, that was a question I was asking yesterday or day yesterday.
Very relevant, yes.
Okay, but yeah, because I thought they did their pre-sale, so I thought that was why they needed the KYC. Is that not the require? Do they still need that?
They did the KYC manually for that, but they're looking to get thousands or millions of members that they are going to have to do KYC on, and they don't want to do that manually because they haven't been able to get any work done on our chain because they've been doing our KYC.
Wow. Automated KYC. Okay. Hey,
So that was the first use case that we were targeting. So at least we have something to shoot for.
yeah. Excellent.
And, you know, part of that is linking the identity of people in Mattermost, in the member site, on Ethereum, okay, to build the identity of the person and be sure that the person is one member in the democratic process of the collective. So, you know, unique identity is part of that, and KYC helps develop that. If we can get verified street addresses, if we can get, the more information we can get, the more we can isolate that this is a person, a unique person.
Hey, are there different levels of KYC though? I mean, in other words,
Absolutely.
meeting different standards, obviously. So,
Yeah, and depending on the level of business with the cooperative.
okay. So in other words, creating an identity that meets whatever threshold requirement is inherent in the enrollment, the identity enrollment process. Okay, that is the whole key, and that's where you're actually building the identity is in the enrollment process. So this is a very, very important thing.
Yeah, and you know, hopefully we will provide rewards for people developing a strong identity, which is part of what Free Trust is.
Give them an inducement to follow through with a robust enrollment.
Right, having strong identities in the members, it benefits the collective.
Yes, yeah, according to Free Trust principles. Yeah. Hey, Gurinder, let me just show you something real quick on screen share here. Can you see my screen here? I'm at the welcome page on the website.
Yep, I see it.
Okay, so if you go down below Join Mattermost, the next thing you can do is click on Divvy Tasking and Talent Pool Sign Up.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and you get this one-page Google form essentially, and it asks, you know, this is where you can put your contact information and just tell us, you know, in other words, Jim was sort of, this was the lead into this, where Jim says, hey, Gurinder, give us what are your skill sets? Tell us something about yourself, okay? Would you go and fill this out so that, you know, part of what we're doing here is we're building up an inventory of human resources, right? Which is something that you had mentioned. And this is where we're doing it, okay? So I'm just asking, and Jeff Anthony, everybody on this call, you know, should go and fill this out, all right? We need, this is where we're building our human resources right here.
Yeah, we want to be able to say we have 20 people signed up in the pool or 50 people. So
exactly.
You know, just put something in there so we can add to our numbers.
It takes less than 5 minutes.
So I mean, where does this thing get posted, the form?
Okay, well, okay, I monitor, right, what's happening is I get an email when somebody fills it out, and I go check it out, and I generally welcome them and send them a short email.
I think he's asking what's public information about what you
What's
fill.
public? Well, Um,
Nothing. It goes
nothing
into
is
private,
public. Yeah, as far as I know. I mean, it follows the normal Google Forms protocol as far as accessing individual information. Or,
We're going to need to make give some thought though to who can see this, who can see the results, because
yeah,
I mean, you know, a project trying to staff itself is going to need to be able to get in to see this.
that's right. Yes,
So,
team leaders would have access. All managers would have access, and it, you know, depending on how the team develops.
Right, but again, we're not, you know, Divvy managers aren't staffing projects. Projects staff themselves. So
right, but we have a role in managing the talent pool.
No, we have a role in accumulating the talent pool.
That's what I'm saying.
We do not have a role in managing the talent pool. There's a difference.
We don't have a role in managing the individuals in the talent pool, but we have a role in managing how the talent pool builds itself, which I think is what you were saying.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I've got to break off this call. Jim, if you could, before you wrap, when you wrap everything up, make sure you save the chat into the document.
Right.
All right.
And the link to that form too, please.
Yeah, and I will see you folks. The link to that form is on the first page of the website.
Yeah.
It is.
Oh yeah. Yep. It's the second clickable item down.
Okay, take it easy, folks. See you next week.
Thanks, Bob.
Okay.
See some of you sooner than that.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Bob. Really appreciate your note taking. Okay, so I'm going to have to go too. I mean, I'm trying to get a bunch of stuff done so I can go away on a trip for 3 weeks. So
yeah,
all right.
We're hitting 2 hours here.
Yeah.
See you guys later.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Jeff.
You don't have to leave, Jeff, if you have something you want to discuss. I can hang around for a little.
Nope, I need to leave. Also, Jim. Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, it's
Great to see you, Jeff, by the way. It's great to be working with you again.
Yeah, and you know, we should anytime you want to set up a time for us to have a work study on Newport and try to do some attestation of credentials.
Yep.
That would be much appreciated. Your participation would help us get something done and get us steered into the right direction a lot. You know,
maybe we can make up a word, Storn or something.
If we can get Grinder and you on a call and explore Newport claims and attestations and organizational memberships, IDs for organizations, and even if we can just do these things from the node command line, following the examples on the website, we'll be in a pretty good position to do our KYC stuff with Newport.
I agree.
Yeah. Hey, I'm adding Gurinder and Jeff as direct messengers on my. In other words, we would have our own private chat channel.
Yeah.
Okay. So
on Mattermost.
Yeah, on Mattermost. So let's see here. So there's Gurinder, and Okay. And you can do that by under direct messages. You just click on the plus, and then you scroll down and find people that are already in Divvy. So let's see. There you are.
I know in Slack it only keeps a certain number of the most recent ones. I don't know about Mattermost.
Yeah, I haven't. I may not have got enough in here. I don't know. Yeah, I mean they sort of leave out the back end, right? Yeah, sort of like email. So, all right. So I'm just going to type in, "Hey, Jeff," and "Hey, Gurinder," with a U.
And ER.
Uh,
I always the first and last vowels I always miss.
yeah, well, if I get it wrong, I know Gurinder's he's gonna he's gonna tell me right away here. Okay, guys.
Now I just have to find my
Mattermost.
Mattermost window. I got like only about 50 windows open, so
Yeah, I just keep it open as a tab.
yeah. No, I have it open in tab, but I can't find that tab.
Oh, you're worse than Jim Whitescarver.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, now I see it. Okay, thank you. All right, guys. Good meeting everyone, and
Okay.
we'll catch up with you shortly.
Do we want to spend time to get together?
Yeah,
I'm leaving, guys. See ya. Thank
ya.
you.
I have about maybe 20 minutes right now. Could we?
Okay.
Did you get any email from that response for the query you sent out to the Mattermost and Kanban guys?
Um, uh, what in the world? Um, oh, I responded. I got one response that I responded to from the Mattermost forum, but they just referred me to the documentation. So
Yeah.
I posted a follow-up question there. And it looks like I didn't get anything from the CAN board. I identified, I found the error message in the, oh shoot, that's my honey. Hello? Okay. I'll be back in a minute here. I just have to let my wife in the gate.
Okay.
I'm back.
Living a pretty life in Florida, man, with the gated community and all. So
Gated property.
Yeah.
No, yeah, there's the gate at the end of the driveway.
Oh, okay. I thought you were like living in one of those exclusive keep the riffraff out kind of places.
No, I run out and open the gate and close the gate behind her.
Oh, she.
So, as I was saying, the error that's coming back is invalid state.
Where did you see the error?
It's hidden in the HTML that's returned. It's not displayed on the screen.
Invalid state.
Yeah.
So yeah. I mean, so did you? I think you left the state blank, right?
There is no state field.
Yes, there is.
There is?
Yeah. Go back to. I don't have the screens up. Let me just get rid of all this. I got too much crap on my.
We have scopes. We don't have state.
Oh, sorry. Hold on. With that. No. State. Let me look at the URL again. Yeah. They in the URL, the Divvy DAO sends a state, and Kanban responds back with it or uses it. Huh. Okay, no, I'm sorry. I thought it was I was mixing it up with scope.
So,
Authentication use to help mitigate access that can occur in malicious web browser.
so the error message is
So, are you able to? Let me see if there's a base 64 decode. It's supposed to be base 64, right?
what is?
That state.
I don't really know what the state is at present.
I have. I'm looking at one of the logs. I mean.
Which logs are they?
Huh. Well, that didn't go very well. The URL when it's being redirected has state as one of the variables.
I don't understand. I mean, it looks like the only place the invalid state is mentioned in the code of Mattermost is in the language file, the language JSON file.
Well, that's because it's using it probably, right? It's a multi-language. But the question is, where is? So look for this whole invalid app error, right?
What? It didn't copy. Invalid. Looks like there's. You try again. OAuth.go. Really where it is. User.go. So there's basically two places. Authorize OAuth user. That sounds like a promising thing.
So that's what I'm telling you, that this is base 64 encoded string. And when I decode it, I just get some gibberish, because I'm assuming it's some sort of like a encrypted field or something. Getting back.
Is state a variable that's sent?
Yeah, state is something that is sent by the matter.
CAN board.
Huh?
Is that by Canboard or is that by Mattermost?
I mean, so if I go to Kanban, right? Kanban sends it me to. It must be sent by Kanban, right? And then it gets decoded by Kanban. These both things, Kanban and the Mattermost, are running on the same server.
No, they're not.
They're not.
Oh yeah, they are. Never mind.
So time is not the issue. Right?
So when I go to callback initially, I get a state variable right here.
Right.
And where does that state come from?
So I'm assuming it's coming from Kanban, right?
Yes.
So Kanban sends it to the Divvy DAO, at Divvy DAO, you know, and when the chat Divvy DAO reads back to Kanban, it sends that state back to the Kanban, and it double checks to make sure it's sent originally.
Ah.
Yeah, so if you do curl, I don't think it's going to work.
Okay, well, this is a difference. 4E13. I'm just looking to see if the state's the same, and it's not. In other words, the last time I did this curl command, I had a different state here.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure because they're implementing it the right way. They would put some sort of nonce, maybe the current time, right? So you can't play back these things.
Okay, so if I do this now, ouch. So I get back another redirect to log in.
So I don't know if you're getting.
B363 is the state here. B363 is the state here. B363. B363. So it's giving the same state all along. So I'm not sure how the state could be wrong. Now I should be enabling cookies here, huh? Although I don't see any cookies set yet or anything.
Oh.
What? I just copied that and it didn't paste. I don't know what's going on here. Copy, paste. Now paste. Except I have an extra quote.
What the hell?
Okay, now I get the login screen.
Yeah, but if you look at it, that you should see an error which says external authentication failed. Take a look, do a grep of that.
Where?
Oh, you got something else. Okay.
We're having trouble connecting to Mattermost. If refreshing this page does not work, please verify that your computer is connected to the internet.
Hold on. Are you able to?
I'm going to try it again. I don't know.
Can you put the output in a file? I was going to say just grep for external or. Oh.
What am I looking for? External?
Just look for external.
Not found.
Oh. Okay, so you have a different behavior than I have here. Let me.
Cannot connect to Madam. I mean, this isn't what I saw before. Let me go back to here and see what I get. I have to go to developer tools to get the source.
Be right back, Jim.
How do I view source?
So you got to the point, same point now, external auth?
I can't, I just keep trying to grab the source and I can't figure out how to do it.
Source, you mean the HTML source or?
Yeah.
Can't you just do a file save as? No, right click that Windows, Jim. Right click that. View source. Oh, where the hell? No. No, that you already are doing, right?
Yeah.
Close this inspection thing for a minute. Okay. Stop the highlighting as well, by the way. Yeah, just yeah, right click now. No, right click. Okay, view page source. Oops. Keep going, keep going.
There it is.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the external authentication failed.
Right, and
Yeah, there's states not in here. Oh,
Yeah, no,
that's the current state.
I was looking at CSRF token.
Okay, if we go to System Console, logs, um, we didn't get anything in the log from that attempt I just made.
You did?
Now, this last message was at 16:19.
What time is it now?
I guess that's UTC. It's 12:31.
That could be mean. Oh,
What?
96,234. Hold on one second. Let me look at the other. Let me see what my IP address is.
The IP address isn't on here.
Hold on. What do you mean? No, the IP address is right there. 96.234. Yep, that's my IP address, Jim.
Where do you see? Oh, this one.
Yeah. That's my IP.
Okay, but you got this error at 16:19.
Yeah, I tried it at that time.
So is this my IP address? I tried it that long ago.
No, that's my IP address. Both are my IP address.
Oh,
I tried. Can I see what the error is? Can you show me what the error is?
couldn't find
Okay.
existing account matching your credential.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay, go back. What's the second?
An invite
Okay.
from the team owner to join.
Now, is there a Kanban log file you can look at? But this is correct because I actually did try to sign in, and my user ID with which was invalid.
What? You didn't give a user ID, did you?
No, I did. I basically forced myself to. I went in a mode. So then it Mattermost prompted me for my user ID password, and I entered it. I got it wrong.
You entered a what mode?
Incognito.
How did you do that?
Go to go to your Chrome. Go to the regular window, and you see the three dots top right. Dot on the top right. Top right. You gotta keep going to the right. Yep. Dot. Three dots. The menu. Yeah. And you say incognito. Yeah.
Oh.
Go ahead. And if you do that, go ahead and type in kanbandvi.net/settings/integration or anything else. I can send it to you.
Whoa, sometimes it seems like it doesn't copy.
Doesn't like you. Okay, so let me go back here.
What did you send me?
I can chat it to you. Hold on.
Oh, where did you chat it?
There you go. I mean, you can. I just said just go to this URL. You can go to any URL.
Which chat did? Oh, here it is.
So no, not here, not here, not here. Type of OAuth to login.
No. I have to log in because I'm not logged in. I'll get the same error you did.
Right, but this is Kanban. But you're
Right.
trying to log into Kanban. Why are you doing that? You need to log into Mattermost, right?
Yeah.
So
Okay,
here, okay, allow. This is what I'm getting as well.
Right, the same as we always get, right?
Now, if you do a view source, just want to make sure that 7FC, right? 7FC. Scroll down a second. Yep. Okay. Oh no, it's not. All right. I thought the CSR line 41, the SRF token was the same thing as state, but it's not. Unless, how about if you base encode that? 64.
So, if we could find a log, if we could find a log for Kanban,
Yep.
Kanban. If we could find it, then we would, I'm unable to find a log.
Yeah, hold on. I'm looking for it. Do you have a, yeah, I mean, so you can do LSOF. Why don't you do LSOF of Kanban and see where the hell is it putting in? GitLab. You should go take a look at var log and see if there's anything there.
Nothing's been modified here.
Where, oh, in var log?
Or the parent directory. What? Nothing's been updated in var log.
Where are you? Are you in the
I'm in
The
the,
Docker.
I'm in the doc. I'm in, yeah, I guess I'm in the Docker image. I'm, you know, I did I used the Cloud Run exec to get in here to the app. So this is supposed to be the root of the app here. In /app code is where it puts me. And there's supposed to be logs here.
Where is the Kanban's file?
What?
Where is Kanban's config file?
Right here.
What, config.php?
Yeah.
Okay, let's look at that. Because there should be this something called debug log file, just log file. Should be called debug log. Yeah, it's right there, like eighth or ninth line. Could it be that it's going to standard error?
Okay, I can change debug to true.
Yeah. And also, I think maybe change the log driver to file, perhaps.
What?
So you see where it says define log driver is standard error. Can you change that to file?
Oh. I can. Or I can. Or I can just exit here and do a Cloud Run. Log.
Make the window larger. Yeah, logs, I guess. Yay. Okay.
I think Cloud Run capture, you know, the standard log is the Cloud Run is goes to is what goes to standard out. I mean standard error. Which is why they default to that.
So if you could do, you know, can you scroll out, or can you do grep of Kanban, or? Because I think, you know, you need to go look up a little bit more. Maybe make this full screen. Need to
Yes.
scroll up. Can you scroll up? All right, hold on there. Unable to load this plugin class. What? We misspelled that thing.
Yeah. Plugin dash OAuth 2. But it found it.
What do you mean it found it?
Well, if that finds it in the configuration,
Wait, shouldn't it be? Can you do ls? Can you do ls? Ls dot dot. And just do ls dot dot. That's all.
um,
Okay, go ahead. No, that's fine. Fine.
so it's looking for plugin. Yeah, we have a plugin.php.
Yeah, but do you have do you have something called /Kanban though on board?
No. Um, question is, how does it get these class names? So those are namespace names. They're not file paths. I haven't seen this PHP usage. But it looks like so it's looking for Canboard plugin plugin-OAuth 2. Plugin. Okay, where it's looking for, and we had some confusion on this when we were doing it because what we did was I put a link in because I didn't know whether we should have it be OAuth 2 or plugin dash OAuth 2. Because when I unpacked it, it had a different name.
Yeah, I remember that.
So, but it's looking in the plugin OAuth 2 path. And that's the main, no, that's the main path. But it's looking for a, oh, it's a plugin. Okay, this namespace does not have in it it has a plugin OAuth 2 plugin. It doesn't have this piece of it in there.
Hold on. Use space bar.
Okay, I'm going to back up that file. And I'm going to add the plugin dash OAuth 2 to the namespace.
Extract zip file to the web folder. Borrowed.
Yeah. Make it directory / root. Get rid of that error. It exists. I can't write it.
What are you trying to do, Jim?
It said it can't, every time I leave VI, I get an error that I can't write / root. And it could be the home isn't set right or something. But we'll look at that again. Okay, so I changed that. Okay, so I'm going to try this again now. that sort of broke stuff.
I'll be right back.
Okay. We'll tail the log.
Still couldn't load it. I mean, you just started it. Still couldn't load it, right?
Yeah. Let's see. How do I do this? So we can look at the logs here. So it looks like it's succeeding. then we get this error.
I'm looking. You know, I'll send you a link. Just quickly browse through it. Meanwhile, I'll. Where is the chat here, man? See if you can look through this link on Conbard's plugin documentation. While I'm looking through their GitHub issues. You might have to go down a little bit. So, Jem,
Yeah.
is there a Kanban board's plugin manager?
Well, we just have one plug-in there. It doesn't give us, it doesn't give us a menu with them. But no, you just put them in the directory. I think there may be some kind of paid version or something. I've heard a mention of a one-click install of plugins.
Yeah, that's what
I think
this is what
I think that's
this is what I'm.
a premium feature. Maybe.
Well, I just sent you a link. I'm not sure if this is just part of the GitHub. I think this is front end, perhaps.
That's GitHub, yeah.
If you scroll down, they talk about this. No, keep going now. The installation. So they're talking about some. Hmm. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, I'm going to send you another one. If you can, this one. This talks about being able to install it through their web interface. It doesn't say paid version or not. But you have to turn the configuration to plug installer to be true.
How do you become an administrator? I guess we are.
You are, right?
Yeah, I guess. It's not clear how one becomes an administrator. But, you know, we use the Cloud Run login, and yeah, I'm an administrator there. So I guess I'm an administrator. But if I use the OAuth, I'm probably not. I don't know. Probably a different ID. Well, the name merged them. I don't know. But we can. Oops.
But there was a plugin. There was a admin interface, right? Weren't you on an admin interface? Weren't you looking at that other day?
I don't think so. No. In the Mattermost.
No, I'm talking about in Kanban.
No, they're just settings. There's all kinds of under settings.
Where did you put OAuth information? I thought you enabled OAuth somewhere.
No. We just put in the we just added the plugin. That was it.
So where did you add the client secret and everything?
That's right in.
Right. So remember when you log in now, and there was on the right hand side there was some settings or
Yeah, you go to settings here.
and plugins.
Okay.
Oh, we did do that. Okay, we did do it this way.
Now what is this? This is Chrome settings. I went to the wrong place.
Oh, okay. I'm in that setting. I think we did this other day.
What do we do here? Yeah, board. Sign in.
Right.
Pull down the JW. Hit
Yeah.
settings.
Not setting, but in plugins. No, not here. Go back to the pull down, and there's a plugin choice. I think that's how we installed it.
No, we
Someone.
didn't install it here. There's no install option here. We only
Oh, well.
put it in the directory. We simply unpacked it, we simply got it into the directory. We cloned it into the plugin directory, and that was it. Okay, we enabled it on the Mattermost side.
So we didn't add it on this side?
No, we just unpacked it, and it says that right in the instructions. You simply unpack it and it comes in. But I'm going to try that thing where what option are we supposed to set?
Where for what? It's set to true.
Plugin installer set to true.
Can you change the debug to true? The second and the third one to file and.
We're looking. We have the tail of the log coming.
Yeah, but it's only. So why don't you change the true?
Okay, the Cloud Run log function will stop working if we do that. So I'm not going to change.
No. I'm saying debug it to be true. That's all. More debugging. And while you're here, can you also?
What's this config.php? Cannot create backup file?
I think you have to do W exclamation point.
I wonder why I can't create a backup file. The other condition was that the plugin directory had to be writable. So let's see. That's geez. And the plugin directory is writable. App data plugins. The pointers, huh? It's owned by WW Data. That should be writable. Everything is WW Data. I don't know what I'm looking at. So I don't know why that doesn't come out. I'm going to take a break.
Okay.
We have some lunch. You can just hang in there. See if I come back and you're still
I'll
here.
I'll take a look at the take my son to back to okay. All right. Why don't you have your lunch?
Yeah.
I'm just going to go.
It looks like the OAuth is working fine, right?
Mm-hmm.
It looks like the OAuth is working fine. If
Yep.
you're not logged in, it asks you to log in, the Mattermost. If you are logged in, it doesn't ask you.
Right.
So the problem is on the Canboard side. And whether it's that we have one of the settings wrong, we don't know.
Didn't you turn the debug thing on?
Yeah, I did.
Did you restart the Kanban?
What? What is it doing? Um, Okay, I think we're still looking at the tail of the log here. Yep, we are. Log out. Unable to load plugin class. Still the same thing.
Is it giving more debug?
I keep getting this error. You keep logging in, trying to log in?
No, I haven't touched. No, I haven't gone in at all. Keeps trying.
I keep getting this error.
Yeah, I know that. Can you put your screen up? Are you recording still?
Yeah, I am actually. Probably should end that, huh? So let's do login.
Is it giving more debug or no?
It seems to keep repeating that error over and over again. Unable to load plugin class.
Well, if you look at the URL that it's coming from, looks like an internal URL. It might be. Is there like some process which is looking for process which is edit? Yeah, like I mean, Cloud Run might have internal process to check on the status if the server is up or down.
I don't know what that is.
Hold on one second. Okay. What the hell is here?
HTTP client request failed.
Where are you looking?
Okay, right here, you know, the callback. Okay, it called the callback.
Which is fine.
And then it says unable to load. And then it says request failed. Then it called the callback with all this stuff.
That's when you came back from Mattermost. That comes back when Mattermost authenticates you. And that also gave you what's the that's 200. And Jim, did you restart the Kanban after you changed the configuration?
Yes.
Did? So how come it's not giving us any more debugging information?
I don't know.
Can you do me a favor? Can you change that to file, where it says standard error, to file? So this should give us.
You think you would put more in the file than it puts the standard error?
Shouldn't be, but no. Unable to load this plugin class.
Yeah. Sure. Holy shit. I didn't mean that at all. I got a whole log entries in my history. Ugh. I mean, how did this happen? I copy this, and the copy buffer doesn't go into here. You didn't figure out the problem. Provider authenticate.
Link an account. Link the account. The next place where do you get to see this error?
The login screen.
No. There are two entries in this. No. There are two entries in the PHP file. Where's the second entry for that? Yeah.
In authenticate.
This authentication manager OAuth provider name.
Provider name.
Am I able to log in here to the console?
How does that work?
Do I have login privileges to this?
Well, I mean, you can log in directly to the machine, or you have to run the cloud run. Yeah, you have permission.
I only have user profile permission. I don't think I have a.
You have a cloud run admin account.
Don't know. How do you get? How are you getting to it?
You have to run the cloud run command, and then you use your cloud run login. Cloud run command line. Cloud run CLI command line in.
Yeah, I'm looking to see where it is so I can download it.
It doesn't. I was unable. It doesn't work under Windows.
Oh, oh, nice. But can't I just putty into it?
Yeah, you just have. I'm not sure how you get into the Docker image. It's a doc. If you
They don't have.
I think if you go to the URL, I think it just will log you into the machine. It's just the IP address of the machine. And I can give you the password there. But when I'm on there, I have no. I haven't
Have what?
exactly. I haven't figured out how to get into the Docker image.
I'll let me. Do I have enough memory to run a VM?
We could put it on Divvy.org or something, install it there. Can we? Yeah, I guess we could.
All right, let me see if I can get. Yeah, I guess it should be able to.
Okay, I'm going to end this and come back in.
All right, well, why don't you go eat first, and we can regroup around Tuesday. Might have to.
Yeah, I'm just going to end this and start it again. So come back.
All right, fine. I may have to leave for a little while, for about a half hour, and then come back as well.
Yeah, and
Why don't you go ahead? Yeah, go ahead, start it.
Later.